Victoria's famed Golden City, Ballarat, a part of the national network of ABC television.
Okay, I'm just getting everything ready. I'll be with you in a couple of seconds. Just remember. What is that? NI update service. I've never seen that before. Turn that off. Okay. Right. So we seem to be in action. Yes. Okay. So let's turn the lights on. And okay, and last thing. Right. Okay. So as you can see on the bench, is that one? No, it's the other one. I won't. Yeah. Yeah, it is this one. I've started on this Pioneer graphic equalizer, and I cannot for the life of me work out what is wrong with that. And I'll bring you in on the circuit board. And actually it doesn't weigh anything without the front panel on. That is, yeah, so you can see that there's all these capacitors on each channel. So there is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 sliders per channel, so 24 sliders, and each slider has got the 2 capacitors, 2 resistors, an op amp, 2 capacitors, and a further 2 resistors. And that all goes off into these things. Yeah, so it's really not user friendly or not serviceman friendly. Yeah, there's a relay there and a couple of capacitors. It does turn on and the tape loop LED lights up, but that's about it. So it is sort of working, and the person who owns it, brought it in, said it was working and then just suddenly died when he was using it. So yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. If it was working, yeah, let's put it down here out the way. Hopefully I won't trip over that. And yeah, so but it's not working in both channels, so there might be something in the power supply maybe, but the relay, which is a 2-channel jobby, that is kicking in. So today, yeah, as I say, I've just come back from Melbourne, so I'm in a bit of a flap. I wasn't intending to be back quite so late. Yes. So, yeah, I'm just getting organised here a bit. Right. Now, yesterday we had a very good talk from Graham, who is our Vice President down here at the moment. And why is this? This is a bit more disassembled than I remember it. 58. And yes, so we had a very good talk on Atwater Kent. Fascinating man. Made his fortune doing car ignitions, so he invented the distributor and all its associated guff. And then after that talk, he made his fortune doing that, and then he got into radios. Then he sort of lost his business because of the Depression, moved to Hollywood with his millions and wined and dined the movie set, and then died in 1947. So he wasn't uneducated because he went to college twice, and he made money doing other things before that, namely fans in the 1890s. So just goes to show. Anyway, afterwards we had what we call a mini auction. There's my other hand. There we go. Mini auction. And there was a couple of very interesting things early on, and they what just beeped then? I don't know. It wasn't the phone. Something beeped, and it wasn't the computers. Yes, so we had mini auction, and the first 3 items or 4 items were of interest to me. So one of them was a very, very nice Sony Betamax recorder or beta recorder, and that it was sort of a super beta with the high band and the really nice drawer which moves in and out at the front. But that as soon as Michael said Sony, everyone put their hand up to bid. So it was very, very much sought after and went way more than I was prepared to pay for it. So I've only got 1 beta tape anyway. Then I think, I can't remember the exact order, but there was also a very nice AWA coffee table, and it has the tuner amplifier under a sort of a sliding panel. So you slide this part back, the right hand side, and under there is the radio and all those gubbins, and then you pull out a drawer at the on one side of it, and there's the turntable, and then there's the speakers at either end. And as soon as Michael said AWA, everyone's hands shot up. So, and that went for a lot more than I was prepared to pay for it. Then a Sony CD player came up, a very early one, and that I managed to get for $1. And it's in excellent visual condition. It doesn't have its remote control, unfortunately. But when I picked it up to bring it home, it weighed an absolute ton. So someone else is going to bring it up for me. There was also a couple of other amplifiers with the person I go down with, and he bought those, and he's going to get those delivered too. So yeah, but prior to that, where are we? So go back a little bit. There was I did a what's happened here? It's got caught together. Looks like the one. Did a bit of a search through the drawers, because it was mostly a deceased estate again. So we're getting a lot of deceased estates, and I've been looking for not one of these exactly, but a pot with the three. So one of them is the earth, one of them is the wiper, which is the center one, and one of them is the active one. But as you can see, this has also got a loudness tap, and these are quite rare. It's not exactly what I wanted for this, but it is a 4 tap pot. And is this going to, yeah, that's a bit stiff, and that'll be one of them is probably the tone, the other one is the volume control, and on the back is a switch. And would be useful, I don't know whether this has a switch on it. I haven't looked at this for probably 2 years. And yeah. Okay. So let's have a look at it. Now it was working, and I had all the so jerry rigged up with a working volume pot, but it didn't have that extra tap on it. Yeah, why is this disconnected? Now I would have printed out a thing for this. I was hoping that this is just the power switch. Looks like that's been replaced. So, and it hasn't been soldered, so I've managed to get that far with it. Yeah, and this looks like the volume, and this would be the band switch here. So we've got a band switch, got the tuning gang, and we've got the on-off switch. Then we've got this volume pot with the tap on it. And it's also missing one of its valves. think it's multi-band. I'm not sure on that. Be very careful because it's got the aerial loop stick aerial mounted to the top of it. Right. Yeah, someone hasn't done a very good job on this. So we've got that. That would go across to there. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll go and get my multimeter. I had to take that down with me too because I had to pick up a Philips turntable, which I'm going to repair, and I'm also going to do the chassis, which is a pretty common one for Philips, and it's fairly straightforward and easy. The turntable weighs an absolute ton. It's a bit of a surprise actually, but I'll be back in one moment. Oh, and I also managed to get a couple of awesome books, Australian Official Radio Service Manuals, or awesome, and this one is volume 1, as you can see, and it's got all the circuits for 1937. These were published up in Brisbane of all places. Wouldn't have thought Brisbane would be... Okay, that's interesting. Aristocrat meets a new demand for a new kind of low-priced radio. So they were designed as cheapies, were they? Yeah, so you can see it's got all the circuit diagrams in it. And it's also yeah, they've got plenty of Fox and McGillicuddy. This company was first in Australia to carry component parts, even before national or commercial broadcasting, and are thus equipped to supply replacement parts for all type of radio receivers. Interesting. Yeah, Fisk Radiola. That's Radiola models. Stromberg Carlson, Tasma, Wielden, plenty of Wieldens in here. Westinghouse, which 100,000 bells. Brimar. RMS Queen Mary, the ship, is Brimar equipped. So they use Brimar valves. Yeah, so we've got frequency and wavelengths, reactance of a coil at audio frequencies, 2 capacitors in series, resistors in series, chain interference, suppressors. Up the back was a quite an interesting table. There's wavelength conversions, shortwave stuff. This is all theory. These are all the different towns or major centres around Australia and Papua New Guinea, and they've got the type of voltage and cycles, and there's a few which are 40 and a few which are 60. Port Kembla, Sydney, South Perth, primary 6,000 volts, secondary 440 or 250, 40 cycles, 3-phase. Yeah, Shepparton East, 460 and 230, 50 cycles, single phase. Sea Lake, Victoria, which is an interesting place. It's right in the middle of a desert, Sea Lake. 230 volts DC. So there's a lot of DC in country towns and things like that. And this one I'll show for Don's benefit, Britain Radio. And Don has recently done a Britain. So there's their headquarters in Sydney, Britain Electrical and Radio Company, 152 Parramatta Road, Petersham. The home of Britain Radio. So, yeah. So I've always intended to collect the whole set. There's about 13 or 14, I think. And actually, it's the same size as the valve book, the Phillips thing. So that is convenient. All those circuits are not in the HRSA books, and a lot of them are not anywhere else. And they were all the ones that the manufacturers didn't publish themselves. So let's check the switch, and we'll temporarily wire that in. So it's that, and well, that has a volume control on it. That's interesting. I'll take this one out then. Right. Now, which is the better of the two? This is the right length, this one. So it's just an off-on volume in the one shaft. And this one is So it seems to be off. Might someone's already started to take this one apart. Get back in there, and one's there, that one's there, and yeah, so I spent, last of the big spenders here, I spent $3 whole yesterday. So I've got a lift to the station, and the train is free, or the public transport is free. And why isn't that doing what it's supposed to do? So this is probably why it was taken out of the radio. Well, that is a really cheap, nasty screwdriver, isn't it? I've just sort of bent those back very gently, 2 tabs, and this Aldi screwdriver is already bent and the chrome is flaking off it. Great. Excuse me. Must be back home. Sneezing all the time. Now a screwdriver. Try this one. This ancient thing. How does this one come apart? Does this one come apart? Well, that's come off of it. And that's it, yep. So we have our little, they're pretty simple actually. They've just got a little rocker. And so that turns around. There you see that. And that turns up there, and that's what makes the click. Just can't. There. Right. I shall go and get some silicone spray because I can. And we'll try and fix this thing. We'll have a look down in here. And that doesn't seem to be turning. And there's no... Oh yeah. So we've got to work out where's the trip is. Is that it? Ah, there it is. The trip is there. So I'll go and get some silicone spray and we'll do that trip. She'll be back in about 2 shakes for lamb's what's it. also brought in the IPA, and that's not... IPA in Australia is isopropyl alcohol. In England, they call a lot of their beers IPA. And I'm not sure why. Right. Why is that so stiff? That's better. Okay, that is moving a bit better. Oops, don't fall off of there. Now it's all falling apart because it's lubricated. Right. Actually, before then, we should actually check the pot is okay. So, got that one. And that is open. That one is 510. $568 and come on. This is awkward. This has got the fourth tap on it. It looks like it. And that is 90 there. And bring it around to the other side. And that is the same. And that one is 5. What was the other? Come on. Zero and 29. Well, that is odd. Where's my deoxit? Oh, these stupid lids. Whoever invented those, they just don't stay on, and then they spray all over your fingers and not on the pot. I'll have to do this one to lubricate it. And I've just dripped it all over a couple of CDs. Great. As long as the track and the wiper are okay. This is just disgusting. Where's it? Okay. Yeah, these didn't cost anything. So, which way is this way, isn't it? No, it's the other way up. Or is it? No, it's that way. I thought that pin would be it. Where's that sticking up there? That doesn't look right to me. Maybe it is. We'll just do this. Put that back onto there. Oh, I see. Yep. So this has been assembled wrong in the first place. So someone's had this apart, tried to fix it, and then reassembled it wrong. Work out how this plastic bit goes back on. It's got to be like that, hasn't it? And the spring goes no. We got that one. So that go there. And that goes there. No. The spring is on that side, okay. And that piece there, focusing, yep. So that piece there, that trips the switch, and that side there, that pin, connects the, or does it? Does that go? How does this go together? Have a look at this one. This is Ducon as well. Yep. This one's pretty filthy grotty, but doesn't matter. And it's really tight, this one. Looks like an older one. Where's my... Right, so that one is out the way. And that one is up out the way. That one is up out the way. And this one is up out the way. This is a completely different arrangement. Great. So that tells me nothing. Prefer to use the other one because it's got the longer shaft. I haven't seen one of these switches before. Don't know what trips it. Is that supposed to move? No. What's supposed to move then? Okay, so persevere with this one. That is definitely going into there. Like so. Does this go over the top of this? No. So where does that spring go? Go on to there. might go into there. Can't be. It's going to go onto there like so. And that came off of somewhere too. That was holding that on. I'll have a look at another one. So I've got plenty of pots with switches on them, but none with the tap. Okay. So that's got a pot on it, a switch. Okay. Yeah, I've got all of these. Big tub of them. We've got this one, and this has a switch on it. It's also a Duke-on one. This is more like, actually, this one has a tap on it. Interesting. Right. It's got a tap, but it hasn't been used. Right. So we'll see if this one works. This is ridiculous. No. No, this one doesn't work. Okay, we'll test the tap on it. So that is for 500k. And this one is 13k. Why is that so high? And we've got one is open. So that is not connected to that. So one's 37k. And this one is 500k. 31. Open and 500 again. This one is great. This is really awkward without the having it soldered in. 328 and 175. Well, that is all over the place. So I'll try spraying this one again. Won't drip that all over the CDs this time. That one is still 137 and 439 and 40k. Oh, getting the switch to sort of work. I can hear it getting a bit of resistance. How can I hold this? So that's 500k and 14k. So this isn't going to actually turn down. Zero on that one. And 200k. Oh, every reading is completely different. And we'll take this apart and see if we can work out what's that one is doing. Though I suspect this one, it's got a black thing on phenolic on the back, and this one we took apart was grey. Got some muck on that one. Yeah, notice that. Hopefully this one won't fly apart. That hurt. Try the bigger screwdriver. Well, this is actually turning into a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Should have been very quick and easy fix for this. Oh, sprung apart, bugger. And this one's different yet again. Ducon, why are you doing this to me? So that must be that one. What flew out then? Okay, so that is definitely that way. And we've got, oh, I see. This isn't going, yes it is. So that spring was underneath. In fact, it might have been in the center. Yeah. We've got a center. We've got that little spring in there. So that, does that go? Where are my pliers? They're out in the kitchen again. They can't go there. It's going to go. Oh, this one's very, very worn. Oh, does that go? No, it can't. So this goes in there. Yeah, this one is very, very worn. It should tell us how it works, at least. Okay. That go on there. And that goes there. So I've got to make connection between the two things. How do these work? That is for the so that's got to go that way. And it's got to go around that way. Somewhere or another. That's got to go in the spring. This must be boring as hell if anyone's watching. Something was in there. Does that go in there? I haven't done one of these switches for ages and ages. So we'll get that out the way. Put this back in. So I think that pivots on there. Or does it? That definitely swings around. So it's got to go onto there. The spring then goes into there. Come on. You're not that magnetic, are you? I need a demagnetizing tool. So the spring goes into there. And then this part goes on top there. And that other little contact goes in there. I think that, is that broken? That spring. Yeah, that spring is broken. Okay. Take that off. And what made contact on this one then? Oh, I see. Does that go on to there? Yes. So that goes onto there. Goes onto there. And then that contact goes onto there. And then this piece goes onto there. Like so. And then Yeah, this one is worn out. So a different contact arrangement. So the black one, yeah, they're sort of parallel, and the grey one is in focus. I can't see. Looks vaguely in focus. I haven't got my glasses on. Yeah, so the grey one, the pins are arranged, or the contacts are arranged differently to the black one. So we'll try putting the other one back together again, the original one. So we know that clicks. So move that around there. And this one isn't quite so worn out. That there. Okay. It's still not sitting in there properly. And then just this. That's off of that one. And okay. That can't be right. So that contact is sticking up. So that must be the other. No, it can't be the other way around. That pin down in there. Maybe it is. Does that pin go in there? No. That pin is too long. Where is it? No, the pin has got to face upwards. And that's got to fit in there correctly. That's it, I think. No? Aha! Got that in there. But it's still sticking up. Oh no, it's got to go through the hole, hasn't it? Right. And where's the black plastic piece for that? So that. Oh, this was the other one, wasn't it, Bugger? Trying to get all these parts mixed up. So that's off of that one. That goes in there. This spring goes on here. there. No, that can't be right way up. Just going to go the other way. And that goes onto there. That's it. What a faff. Then this goes into here. Good. And that little ring goes onto there. And then this goes back on here. Wow. Took some working out that. So that's the volume, and this is the on-off switch. And we're not engaging the switch. How does this... So that one... Aha, so that is hitting that. I wonder if it needs to be on the other side of that. Take this one out. Drop that on the floor. And we'll see. Why isn't that going over that? Do that round there. This is, and that is hitting that. Why isn't this turning around and doing what it's supposed to do? Springs come off the bottom. That should be around and on that spring. which it now is, and turn that around. That is off. There's definitely a way of doing this. Right, so that is in there. Now we've got to get the spring round. Come on. No. Go on. You know you want to. It's just a fraction of a millimetre. So we'll do that. That is stuck to that. It's very, very warm too up here. Close enough, 30 degrees or something. Where have I put my tweezers? They're not on the bench, are they? Yes, they are. Okay. Perhaps these won't be magnetic. Why is this so fiddly? Come on. What? Come on. Getting very frustrated here. Doesn't want to go where it's supposed to be. Right. Almost got it. Hooray! Finally got that in there. But, well, there it is. And this has to go over. I haven't got the plastic bit on. Right. It's still not clicking. What is wrong with it? I wonder if that spring is supposed to go in that hole. So it hasn't got any tension on it. And the whole thing's fallen apart again. And that is supposed to be around there. And that is supposed to be underneath there. See? That is nowhere near engaging. It has to go through that hole, so that is definitely the right way up. That spring definitely goes through there. And it's just not tripping it. Move this around. Uh-huh. Okay. And we go around that way, no. So it has to be around here. Facing that way. It's still not. engaging the trip mechanism. Why isn't it engaging? Is it just worn out? That is trying to do that. So how can I have spent 1.5 hours trying to get a switch to work? Oh, okay. So that has to be there. Must be on the wrong side of that then. Then that goes back. Let's take the spring out. And that is not going into there. Is that not coming around far enough? It's got to be there. It's got to engage it. It's got to fit down in there. So it's got to be on that side. That's not going to trip it. That one's there. Aha. That doesn't return back. Maybe the spring goes the other way up. My hands are very sore from carrying a really super heavy shopping bag, which isn't helping with this. Again, that's not working. Why isn't that tripping? Wonder if that is meant to go around into there. Ah, now I see how it works, I think. I've got to get that. Around. No. Come on. It's back in there. Why isn't it tripping that? It's on the wrong side. But when it trips, I wonder if it's meant to be round the other way. On the other side of that. Try putting that back on. Still not tripping it. Ugh. Right. Seven MSP. So I'm going to have to look at the circuit diagram. Oh, no. The valves are on here. 6V4 is what's missing. So let's have a look for a 6V4. And then we will... How did that... Looks like that. Okay, I'm going to look at the circuit for this 7MSP. Okay. It'll be in one of those books. So I'm just looking. Phillips. Pye. Okay. So we've got Pye. 7MSP 306. Okay. And this is a really low serial number too. Okay, so there's the circuit. Trying to get too much more on it. There. So we'll have a look where the tap comes off and goes to. That's lamp. This is the Philips ones are drawn strangely too. I think they're an English design, but they were built by Astor. Although this is fairly late, so it might not be an Astor set. So that's the rectifier. Where's the speaker? Doesn't even put that one there. Oh, there we go. Treble. Okay. So that one comes off. There's that capacitor. The wiper goes back through that capacitor, C41, and that is illegible. What is that? A 0.5 paper. And that comes off. It goes off down there. Can't really read this easily. Is that the volume control? That has the volume on it. So that is 0.1 and 0.1. That is maybe that's the volume. I'm going to have to that's because I haven't looked at this for so long. That definitely had a component on it, that one. Maybe that went to there. Yeah, I'm going to have to study this and get this volume and pot and switch working. Yeah, and I'm really tired too. Which isn't helping things. What time's that? Yeah, it's 10 to 6. So I'm going to give up for the afternoon. And sorry this hasn't been more exciting. Just me playing around with a silly on-off switch. But they do have 240 volts going through them, so I need to get it right. Otherwise we're going to have a big bang and explosion. So I might put this aside until next week. And if anyone has watched till the end, and where are my glasses, and all that, thanks for putting up with my nothingness. Not expecting any views on this actually. Yeah. If this, I wish I'd kept the jumper leads and all that sort of stuff on this. So I did get it working with the with an outside volume pot, but I can't remember what I connected up to. Did I connect up to this pot, or did I connect up to this pot? And the schematic is not very clear, both in the way it's laid out and the way it's been printed. So I might see if I can find another copy of that that's clearer. Kevin Chant may have it on there. In fact, I'll check now and have a look at his website. Kevin, come on, spell it properly. Kevin Chant, there he is. A whole bunch of junk on here. So, Australian valve circuits, Pye, and no. Yeah, so he hasn't got anything much on here. Where are we? Yeah, so we've only got this one, and this is Abbotsford, Melbourne, Park Street, Abbotsford. I think that's where it's along the Yarra. It may not be. So, where's my mouse gone? No, this is an older one. This would have been made by Astor for sure. I think the one we're working on, the 7 MSP, is actually made by Pye when they started. They branched out from Astor and they started manufacturing their own stuff, and then they went out of business and Philips took them over when they really stretched themselves with the television cameras. They really started to stretch themselves and put far too much money into the cameras. Yeah, that's no good. Come on. Yeah. So, right. Yeah. So, if anyone has watched through this, I commend you. And I'll be back next week. Hopefully I'll work this out and we'll work on it then. I've got so many things at the moment. I've got that Philips turntable to do. I've got the graphic equalizer. I've got another radio coming in. I've got a cassette I've got to fix, and they're all paid jobs. And then I've got, what, nine or 10 disassembled reel-to-reels scattered through the living room and kitchen at the moment. That's a long story. Yeah, so I'm probably not going to have enough time to actually look at this physically, but I'll have a look through for a circuit diagram. In fact, why don't I have a look now? So we'll go back. Radio Museum, okay. They have got one. Ranchero. Yeah, so So that is what it looks like. There's no labelling on the dial on these pictures, I don't think. There's no under chassis thing. And yeah, that doesn't look much better than the one I've got. Probably is the same one. 275. No, maybe not. Pye 7 MSP. Just looking at the drawing. It's the same layout, but the switch down here is obliterating some of the this mouse. It drives me batty. Sorry, Ian. Drives me up insane when I have to. Yeah, so that resistors, transformer, coils, valves. So that's the valves. Yeah, it's got the circuit diagram model MSP on mine, and on this one it's got the IF written there, and this has been moved down, obliterating the miscellaneous parts, and this has got Pye 7 MSP there, and I've got a Pye symbol up here, and the grid references across here. This is out of a book. And my table goes across a little bit further, and there's a connection up through there. Interesting. Okay, I'll print that off and we'll see if that is any clearer. Yeah, it's the dial stuff, and that is that, yep. Yeah, okay. I won't, oh, it doesn't matter because there's no password on it. I don't need the password to print this out. Which one shall I use? Oh, that's okay. So I shall retrieve that in a little while, and I shall then print it out if it's reasonable, and we'll go from there. Okay, so thanks for watching, etc. Yeah, we've had a couple more subscribers in last week, so welcome to them. And yeah, and I'll speak to you all next week. Again, sorry for the rubbish stream today. As I say, I got back from Melbourne a bit late, and it was a bit of a rush to set all this up, and I had to really think about very quickly about what to do. And I had those 2 pots which I picked up yesterday, and yeah, so I decided to get this off of the living room, off of the dining room table, where it's been sitting for 2 years. Yeah, so okay, goodbye.